There it is. There we go. I can now see my face. All right, we are live, but not really. We're recording. So we are recording. Aiden's back.
Alright.
Yeah, Aiden is back. And
I am back.
yep, and we have decided we're going to go check out more Oprah files because she is mentioned 155 times. I haven't gone and looked at all 155 like I have with Michael Jackson's files, or at least not even skimmed them all like I did with Michael Jackson's files. Or at some point I'd skimmed Whoopi's and Ellen DeGeneres because they didn't have that many. But right now I have yet to see through all of Oprah's files, and that first one was telling. Alright, it's still 155 as of today. So this is, I'm going to open up the third one. It looks like it's just, she's mentioned in a link. Yeah, it's just an email. So maybe we might not find anything. If I go like a couple of full, you show 10 results. They show 10 results per page for anyone who hasn't like been on the file site yet. If you, they have 10 results per. Okay, is this the same email or is this a different one? Because I got another one. Nope, it's a different one. Anyways, quick summary. There's 10 results per like page, and then you go to the next page and the next page, and it's 10 results per page. And then I'll give you a summary. And so I was thinking, like, if I go through like 10 pages of results, I don't find anything interesting, we'll stop. But I've already found something interesting. It's the fourth one. It is EFTA 00144401. I said 3 4s, right? Because it's EFTA 00144401. It's .pdf. This one is bigger than the last one. And it's the same thing, where you have from redacted to huge freaking redaction. Just a whole blacked out page. Subject, Maureen Callahan. Oh, okay. So this was, the date, it's dated, okay, so this is after Jeffrey Epstein died. Dated Friday, the 12th of January, 2024. I need to get into the habit of making sure I always list the dates. So it starts off with, "Thank you, Maureen. You will definitely be investigated and testify in an international court of law. Incidentally, if you want to write an article, I would start with not using a photo of me in a bikini in Jean Les Pins, south of France, in 2012, trying to discredit me. That alone is the type of credibility you have and your journalism. I've attached the photo you used of me in the time frame, and you call yourself a journalist? High five for supporting rapists and pedophiles." Okay, huge redaction for a link. Again, thanks for that. So, by the way, you probably have already seen the guy who, like, quote unquote, was able to make a code to, like, undo the redactions. But that was for, like, before the current files were released. So I don't think it's the same for the current files. I think they got a little smarter and it's going to take a little bit more code to do this. Oh, okay, we're still getting interesting because I've never heard of this. "I invoke Article 51 in the UN Charter against the State of Israel, the United States, and the United Kingdom. This includes all UN signatories of the UN Charter, including the United States, the United Kingdom, and all other foreign aggressors, including the country I'm currently seeking safety and refuge in. I have the right to legal representation, which I'm being denied. This is a violation of human rights on every level by international law and the UN Charter." Okay.
Let's see. What do you find?
I'm going down to the next page. I'm just scrolling because it looked like she might have repeated what she just said there, and it's kind of the same thing. Yes.
Right. I heard that some of the files have been randomly repeated or generated.
Yeah, there's been quite a few repetitions that you'll find every once in a while. And so you'll pop up one email, and then you'll pop up another email, and it's the exact same email. The only difference is like there's this weird thing going on where some of the letters are replaced with like plus signs or equal signs, and you can tell what they're saying because you just saw the original letter or the original email, and then you're like, well, this is the exact same email. Why does it look so weird? But I found...
I think I heard a theory on that where it's like, what would it be, the CIA is trying to pad out the files to prevent people from looking into it deeper.
Yeah, that's the thing. I think you're right on that because they claim that they tried to remove all duplicates, but I keep finding duplicates. Like at first I thought that I was, then I thought maybe I wasn't, because then I realized some of them were just more... It was the same email sent in a email... it's an email conversation. So sometimes they'll just show one email, and then sometimes they'll show the exact same email getting forwarded again, or sometimes it'll be in a conversation. And so technically it's not the same. I think it is important to show, like, you know, an email was sent on this one day and then it was forwarded another day, but you will still see the ones where it's like you can tell it's the same thing, but there's just an equal sign where there was a letter. And that makes no sense. Like, maybe there's something I'm missing, but I didn't see anything crazy that would indicate that those are not duplicates. So I went to the next page. We're on page 3 because the first page is just all redacted who it's being sent to. I was sold into sex trafficking by blank blank to Jeffrey Epstein. Wait a minute. I wonder if that's big enough to be Oprah Winfrey. Let me think about this. Hang on. Actually, let me try something here. If I type in her name. Okay. Her name. Okay, I'm spelling her name right. And that might be as many characters as what is popping up. Now let's see if I can get it. It is a close match. That is a really close match in terms of, like, if you were to replace the characters in the redacted, that might be her. The length of the first name with the last name is like so close. Yeah, so I just basically typed in Oprah Winfrey, dragged it. I'm putting it right next to the redacted. It looks like it's either someone who has 6 characters in the first name, 7 characters, maybe 8 characters in the last name, and somebody else. But it is a possibility it's Oprah. So that's okay. That's interesting. I'm wondering if that's why this is popping up, because like I've said before, when I looked up Nadia, first time I ever looked her up, I only got one document, and she was Jeffrey Epstein's personal assistant. When I saw the description, it said her name, and then when I opened it, you could see where it initially had her in the description. It'll give, like, you know, a quick summary of like, it's basically a citation. It's like word for word what's in the file. Well, you open up the file, it's blanked out. It's totally redacted. Even though you're like, I just read the sentence, only that name wasn't redacted and was Nadia. So I'm wondering if that's one of the reasons why this one popped up, is because Oprah Winfrey is the person whose name was redacted. So, continuing, I was sold by redacted to Jeffrey Epstein in 2006 to be raped repeatedly and sex trafficked. I was then denied protection by my own safe country as a British citizen and revoked my citizenship in fear of my life. I accuse the UN signatories of not only aiding and abetting in this tragedy against hundreds of thousands of young women and children, but by your silence and your show complicity. You still protect Adam. Hey, I got a quick question. Should I try and read this verbatim? Because sometimes, like right now, she said young woman. She didn't say young women, when the correct terminology would have been young women. Should I try and read it verbatim, or should I try and just read it naturally?
I'd say try and read it naturally. Granted, I don't know. That is a tough call. I guess put down in the comments what you guys would prefer, if you would prefer just a more natural, off the top of your head reading, or if you just like it, straight from Rebecca's mouth.
Yeah. Unfortunately, I have not had that much time to really do too much other than work. By the way, anyone who doesn't know me very well, I work 12 hours, so I haven't really had time to go through the comments right now, but I'll have to go back and see if there's any. When I looked recently, I didn't see any comments. The only one that had a comment was the one I posted to the first one, where I explained that the first time I typed in, it was the second time I typed in Oprah's name. But I'd done the misspelling of her. I mentioned that in the top comment, which I was hoping to pin, but then I found out you have to do something special to pin your comments with YouTube, and I gotta do a whole thing with them. Anyways, yep. And so she's just going on about what the law says. This is an 84-page document, and I'm willing to bet most of it is emails. Okay, I immediately seek legal international representation. I claim political asylum from the British, U.S. governments, and the state of Israel, and I am in fear for my safety, the safety of my unborn child, and the safety of my family. That's another interesting thing. This is like the second one where we're not too sure who it is, but so far. But that's 2 for 2. They're both women who are pregnant, and I wonder, you can help but wonder, were they impregnated by someone in Epstein's circle? It's more stuff about Israel. I give you she does the parable of the barren fig tree. And then that's the one that Jesus tells. So if you are not familiar with the parable of the barren fig tree, that is, I'll let you know where it is, so that way you can read it yourself. It's Luke 13:6-9, but I'm not going to read the whole thing right now. So they're talking about the exchange on X, more about Gaza. That's another interesting thing. There is a lot of Gaza and Israel stuff, and you can't help but wonder, wouldn't this be weird if this really is more of just a psyop for what's going on over in the Middle East? Because like now we're no longer talking about the sex trafficking as much. We're talking about what's going on the other end of the world, which I've always thought was interesting. You do have a lot of talk about Israel and Palestine and Gaza, and not so much Iran, but enough in there where it's like it's weird. I can't help but wonder if like that's like just a huge part of this. I'm like skimming over because it's still, now we've just gotten to talking about Israel, talking about the history of Israel, and this looks like, did I miss something? Because this is so I've got on all the Israel stuff that I've been going through. Okay, that was sent on Friday, January 12th, 2024, right after midnight. And it looks like all of it is about Israel. And it doesn't say who it's from. Doesn't have anything. It does touch very briefly upon the human trafficking, but it's mostly about Israel. Okay, here's another one for Marine. Marine's now a person of interest. I think I might. I don't have my list open anymore. Let me find my list and see if I have a Marine in there already, because I do not see her. I didn't see her last name in this one. Hang on, it's loading. Let's see. There is no Marine. No Marine on my list yet. I didn't see a last name, so I'm gonna look up Marine later, because she looks like she would know something. Let's put her down here. rest of the group. And Daily Mail, you tell Maureen I'm coming for her. Oh, this is on, by the way, this is on Thursday, January 11th, 2024 at 4:08 p.m. Tell Maureen I'm coming for her in a court of law under oath. She is a disgusting, vile monster, and she won't be a journalist by the time I'm done with her. So she's a journalist. Send this to your legal team and send this to your editor and to the utter cuss who owns your newspaper. I think I read earlier that somewhere earlier that she was a journalist, but I'm reading so fast I'm struggling to like take everything in all at once. Here's one to Catherine, same day, only at 1:56. Yes, 1:56 p.m. All right. I think your newspaper is a cuss disgrace. What you have done to me, discrediting an actual victim of rape and sex trafficking, has been fighting for my life, and the other 200 Epstein is horrific. What was done 24 hours prior to it coming out? This is a big. Okay, so this cannot be Oprah Winfrey because it's a bigger first name than last name this time. Okay, so we have. It's redacted, was actually an Epstein whore and an employee, and it can't be Ghislaine Maxwell because Ghislaine has a very long name. So in context of this file, whoever she's referring to as a whore, it's not that. It's not that person. Anyway, she's saying that this person got $15,000 to bang Prince Andrew. Boast about. Okay, I'm going to start reading verbatim again, but she uses some vile language and just basically said what I told you. Boast about it to Redacted, who is now cussing dead because of you lot and the lawyers. Yes, it was cussing murder, and I'll get Lucia Osborne. So you tell her that. I will drag her by the hair into court to testify as her involvement with John and Redacted and what actually happened. Why did the media throw me under the bus? Because you protected Redacted, who has lied and lied and lied, and now it comes out that he was Epstein, it was a he. Epstein whore, the media once again has protect her and her BS lies. Okay, never mind. It is a girl. She just used the wrong pronoun there for a second. Do you have any idea what you lot have done to me? My family and all of the Epstein victims who I've been protecting. You want to discredit me. You have at least the cussing common currency to sit with me and look at all my evidence I've been trying to show for years. And you must send this to your colleagues, Alan Maureen Callahan. So it must be Maureen Callahan is her name. And whoever else at the Daily Mail fancies destroying rape victims and those of their families who have stood by me for years in my fight for justice. Let me be clear, I would rather eat my own cuss than do an interview with the Daily Mail, and you guys are in a huge amount of trouble. Let me tell you that. No, it's not. Okay, Daily Mail. I'm trying to remember who is that, because I almost got it mixed up with Daily Wire, but that's different. But, I think that's the regular, just a regular news source. Yeah. So it's just like a regular, like, it's still big, it's still a big name in media, but I think it's pretty much a tabloid. Okay, here's a name that I've never seen before. Dear Cyril Ramaphosa. Its last name is spelled Ramapo. No, it's Phosa. RamaPhosa. So I know you are very busy with tomorrow's hearing in the ICJ or not, and it's straightforward to prove. Okay, this is more about Israel. This is a lot of South Africa and Israel. Okay, here we go. As a victim who was raped repeatedly, sold into sex trafficking by another, starved, tortured, and effectively held prisoner by the Israeli and United States government since the age of 22, along with hundreds of other young women and children, I feel that I must speak against the state of Israel so that they can in no way, shape, or form use any rape, sexual assault, kidnapping, or being held hostage as propaganda and a means to justify the killing of 23,357 innocent civilians, mainly comprising of women and children, and 59,410 injured civilians. If they do, the FBI, Epstein estate, Israeli government, and U.S. must release the footage and videos of myself and the hundreds of and thousands of Epstein rape and sex trafficking victims who were young women and children. I unequivocally stand by my allegation that everything was filmed and all of Epstein's proprieties. Again, I would like the FBI, Israeli, and U.S. governments to prove me wrong. I also want the testimony of the 200 other victims who are awaiting medical trauma treatment and compensation for being raped, sex trafficked, and tortured. As a survivor of rape and sex trafficking in the United States, of the Israeli government and the United States government, I need the innocent Israeli men, women, and children that were being taken and raped repeatedly to know my heart has always been with them. Along with my prayers, I take small comfort that the Israeli survivors, especially the victims of rape and sexual assault, are being given extensive medical care and trauma counseling, per reported below. Okay, she's citing more numbers over who was killed. I don't know why it's blank Les Wexner. It's like so they blank out Les and Les Wexner. Like that's, I'm guessing that's Les Wexner, because I don't know any other Wexners involved. And they got Dershowitz in there. Yeah. So so they were. Oh man, she's saying that they were wearing all the victims, including myself, are wearing Victoria's Secret clothing while being raped and trafficked. And many others were sex trafficked by falsely being promised modeling contacts with Victoria's Secret, including another South African victim, redacted. Getting back on point, I was suffering from my own trauma yesterday. I almost fell on the floor and I jumped like a cheerleader when I heard David Cameron, the United Kingdom Secretary of State of Foreign, Commonwealth and Developmental Affairs, testify to the following. I quote again from the Guardian News with the link provided. There's a link. The British government has accepted that Israel, as an occupying power, had the duty under international humanitarian law to provide basic supplies to the people of Gaza. The admission came when Dave Cameron, the Foreign Secretary, urged Israel to remove barriers on the delivery of humanitarian aid into the territory that were risking real widespread hunger, challenged about whether Israel had a legal duty. Okay, it's more stuff about Gaza. It's kind of like the same stuff. Oh, here's Mr. Ramposa again. Mr. Ramposa, please, can you watch this link provided by the BBC below of David Cameron's response yesterday to Israel turning off Gaza's water supply to 2.3 million civilians? I believe this was done straight after the 7th October Hamas attack. Let's be very clear, the Israeli government turned off the Gaza's water supply. Okay, she's talking about like how long you survive without food, water, air. I don't. She's talking about the. Oh, she's quoting from Harvard. And by the way, I still keep forgetting to It's a habit I'm going to have to get into, but this particular email that I'm reading from, that is really long, was sent January 10th, 2024 on a Wednesday, about a little bit before 11 p.m. And so she's going into like what you need to survive, quoting Harvard, the ICC's definition of genocide. So it is weird. So remember when the whole Israel Gaza situation came out, and I said to you, I remember I told you this, I said, I'm not really sure I can take a side, because the more I hear, the more confusing it gets, and I can't help but wonder if they're both, there's something worse they're trying to hide, and they're both screwing kids behind closed doors.
Honestly, I wouldn't be surprised, because there's a lot of stuff from both sides. Well, I don't know. Israel's just kind of now just being exposed as I'm aware, but I know that, like, for the other side of the war, I'm just gonna use the blanket term Muslim countries. You have a lot of stuff that was coming out of Dubai when that was, you know, the big bad.
People don't realize how much.
Dubai, and then, you know, rumors of yacht parties and just the most degenerate things happen behind closed doors over there, and then everybody's like, you know what, maybe hold off on Dubai.
Yeah, maybe hold off on, like, saying that one country's better than the other just because of the one getting attacked. I'm not saying that what's going on is good. I am, however, saying that there is some truth.
Yeah, no. Right now, both sides, they're absolutely disgusting.
But that does, like, maybe we'll find him even in here. But Sultan bin Sulayem, I want to look him up in an upcoming video. We may not do it tonight, but I do want to look him up at some time soon because he's the one who did the 23andMe test. That is a real thing. He did the 23andMe test. But this, I'm not even done yet. When we're running out on the clock. I'll eventually start doing longer videos. I think I finally figured out how to do that. With that being said, I found another email, also from the 10th of January. We're now down to page 17. Oh, how much time I got left? I got 3 minutes, and I think it's also a smart idea for now to just keep the videos at 30 minutes long, and then that way I can kind of like break them up and do one in another. But I was hoping to do at least another video with you tonight.
Alright, that's fair, and I'm up for that.
Alright, we're gonna wrap this video up really quick. It's at 26 minutes, almost 27, and we're gonna be working on another one.